What's up, modelers? This video is long overdue, but it's finally here. Time for the project review on my high-grade Universal Century Sigok, built for Itza Gundam's Meijin Cup 2018. To begin with, the backstory or concept. My sources of inspiration for this model were submarines, sharks, and of course, other people's work, especially Moki Plamo's camouflaged Agai and Ochinobu Yoshi's Sigok from Plamo-tsukuro. This Sigok is used by the leader of the Sharks 15th Division, a team of amphibious mobile suits that operates in cold zones. It is an enhanced version of the standard Sigok, both in terms of performance and some aesthetic modifications to give it a commander look. Let's go over the modeling side of this build. The base kit is the high-grade Universal Century Sigok, the mass production version of course. Many modifications were done to the kit, and some are barely noticeable despite the amount of work needed to execute them. I had to use a lot of Tamiya basic type body due to the big amount of reshaping done to the model. The mods I've done are the following. Scratch build a shield and give it 4 missiles from the high-grade Universal Century Zaku 2. Scratch build the backpack booster. Scribe panel lines on the top of the head, arms, legs, waist armor and backpack tanks. Add 0.2, 0.5 and 1mm plot plate details on the torso, backpack, arms, waist armor, legs and feet. Make a cast metal texture on the upper arm and thighs, as well as the bottom panel of the feet. Also extend the crotch upwards by building a box on top of it. Extend the part that goes over the visor a little bit to cover the mono eye partially, thus giving the model a meaner look. Extend the waist armor sideways by 1mm on each side. Scratch some notches here and there. A little kit bashing, adding spare parts from other kits. Fill the underside of the knees with 0.5mm plot plate pieces and scribing some lines on them. Add a Haikyuu parts VC dome for the mono eye. Sharpen the claws. Flatten the top of the head a little bit. Make some exposed inner frame detail on the left leg. Cut out a rectangle of plastic from the left leg and cover the resulting hole with some Hasegawa hexagonal mesh. I also cut out a section from the left arm and detailed up that area with 2 layers of plot plate. Then I flattened the visor so the mono eye could be glued there. This formed a gap between the visor and the front torso part, which was filled with a small piece of plot plate and some putty. I also used plot plate and putty to fill the large vents on the torso. Moreover, I used a guitar string to connect the extended crotch area with the scratch build backpack booster. Speaking of the backpack, I split the recessed areas in the backpack tanks into 2 by gluing a piece of plot plate in the middle. I also added plastic rivets made out of stretched sprue. And finally, I did some physical battle damage here and there. The painting process was simple, it just involved some masking. I had to mask the white area on the torso, the white on the knees, the bottom panel of the feet, the smaller panel on the back of the leg, and the white panel on the backpack booster. I painted camouflage by spraying Model Master Blue FS 35164 with some drops of black added, then masking and spraying the same FS 35164, but this time without black paint added. After all the weathering effects, the camouflage became quite subtle, but I kind of like that. I also did a modulation effect on the parts with the cast metal texture by carefully spraying different shades of grey and white. After the main painting was finished, I hand painted a shark logo for the Sharks 15th Division on the shield and applied a waterfly decal for the number 15 beside the logo. The weathering effects consisted of streaking using white to emulate bleaching from the sun and sea salt, chipping using 3 colors, neutral grey, neutral brown and medium rust, neutral grey wash, dark brown wash, a couple of filters and some streaking here and there, most noticeable on the legs. The display base was made out of a normal frame used for photos, but the backing was replaced with a piece of wood I cut myself, because I wanted something cleaner and perfectly flat, unlike the backing that comes with frames, which is left with a recess after the metal support arm that comes attached to it is removed. I scribed lines on a second piece of wood that was glued on top of the base. The concrete was painted neutral grey and then highlighted with lighter shades. Several filters made by myself were brushed onto different panels to add contrast and realism. The water effect is meant to look like ocean water, and I think I succeeded in that sense. I'm really happy about the way it turned out, especially considering the fact that I did it without using any product made specifically for water effects. The texture was made by stippling on a little amount of thick primer, left to dry and harden, and then hand painted with a couple of acrylic paints. All in all, I am satisfied with the work I did on this little kit. Considering its age, price and simple engineering, we can say I fulfilled the goal I had with all my models, which is to put such an amount of effort into them that can be compared to the work band I put into designing the kit. However, I am aware of mistakes and flaws that are visible, and I will definitely take them into consideration for my next build. Next is a video of me doing final assembly, then the photos of the finished model, and after that I will go over the contest stuff. As I won Meijin Cup 2017 with my Una Furtiva Lagrima diorama, this was my attempt at defending the title, and I almost did. My buddy Gustav Löfqvist, great modeler and one of the regulars of this competition, got the first place and I got the second. It was a very interesting clash between an artistic and a technical build. Big shout out to Gustav and the other winners, Jason with third place and Omar with fourth. I'm looking forward to next year, and if you guys watching this want to join next year's contest, check out It's a Gundam, probably the best big gunplay group on Facebook. Anyway, that does it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next time.